Today we're talking about something that is a conversation on so many campuses around the country, and that is the conversation over conversation, in particular free speech. USC recently created a free speech task force which aims to recommend policies and implement new strategies to help with free expression. This is a big conversation, especially given a lot of the federal government pressure on the nature of speech on campus. So let's take a closer look at USC. According to the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, USC ranks 216th out of 257. That's up 29 points compared to last year, but the university is still getting an F grade for free speech, according to the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression. This is, of course, not an objective ranking, but we can talk a little bit about why USC is faring that well or that poorly on that. And for that, we have USC student journalist Lindsay Augustine here for Campus Report for this Wednesday. Lindsay, great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
The conversation about free speech, it's a meta conversation, one that I know is something that students are talking about all the time on campus, right?
Right. I mean, last year we had a lot of tumultuous times on campus. USC shut down the campus to the general public. That's changed this semester. We're seeing the campus back open. We're seeing this new free speech task force. The new interim president this semester is really focusing on open discourse. So it's something that has been ongoing at USC for quite a while now.
Yeah, it's such a complicated thing, as you said, when you think about the student protests that we saw and then that conversation about who gets to say what and who is being disenfranchised with their speech by virtue of people taking up certain places on the campus. You actually spoke to some students about this issue. Let's hear that and have you talk about it on the other side. Let's take a listen.
I feel like free speech now is definitely, it's definitely way harder to get your opinion out now. I think students are finally ready to speak up and they don't feel like it's okay to block our speech.
The fact that they made that task force probably means that they see it as a problem and trying to address it. I think students have the right to express themselves. I've read like the school newspaper. It seems like they can speak pretty openly through that medium.
I've seen a lot of like outside the gates, not recently, but a lot of people like protesting. I'm sure like there's students in there too.
And I think students do have free speech. I haven't seen anything that says otherwise.
I think we had some online training at the beginning of semester. That is the moment I realized that like my opinion, my voice really matters, and there is someone like protecting my rights.
So first of all, a big part of this assignment always for our student journalists is to get a diverse group of people, and you did that in every way. I mean, I'm saying a law student, graduate student, a senior, freshman, beyond, so good job on that. What's your sense of what you heard?
I mean, it was really interesting to me because a lot of the first-year students or the first-year master's students that I was talking to, they all had very optimistic views of free speech on campus, whereas some of the older students, you know, second year, third year, fourth year, were a little bit more wary of how free speech was taken on campus, especially in the past couple of years. So it'll be interesting to see how that trend continues as we go on.
Yeah, and a big part of this, and we heard this from some of the students there, is this task force. Just talk to us about the kinds of changes we're seeing and what we need to know about it.
Yeah, so the task force is brand new. They just put out their interim report, actually, and one thing that they're really noticing is that students tend to be a little bit more upset with the administration and the administration's efforts with free speech than they are with individual students and the way that they interact with each other. And so they're really trying to bake free speech into the new curriculum. So I talked to them a little bit about freshman students, and they were saying that in freshman required classes, they wanted to include free speech discussions, and in residential dorms and halls, they wanted to include free speech discussions. So I think we're going to see a lot more of that as we go on at USC.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously such an important conversation when you think about the constitutional right of it all. I mean, the idea of free speech. Talk about private institution, the Constitution gets a little different with what you have rights and what you don't, but she did speak to some of those professors. Let's take a listen to that.
We want USC students, when they're USC alums, to not take things at face value, to think for themselves, to think critically. Don't rule any argument out of bounds, but also don't accept it uncritically.
I think that we have a lot of good things to do. We are, you know, a very high-performing university, and so you can't be if you're not committed at some level to open inquiry. But we see things in surveys and in comments that are worrisome. I'm worried that quite a few students sometimes will tell in polls will say that they think it's okay to ban speakers from campus. We would like to optimistically hope that like a year from now, if we look around, we'll say, you know what, we did a whole bunch of things across campus and we moved the dial. I hope that our students look around and say, hey, we're doing some really good things. we should be even better. And they press. I mean, you have to keep pressing to make the world better.
And the faculty there, of course, said they're doing things to make this better. FIRE is that foundation that gave USC an F when it comes to free speech. You think we're seeing the kinds of things to get a better grade?
Well, they're up, as you said, 29 points, so hopefully we see that trend continue.
Yes, absolutely. And it's going to take reporting to allow people to understand what they're even talking about. And for that, we have student journalist Lindsay Augustine bring us that report and say, thank you so much. Great job.
Thanks so much for having me.
Clearly have a great understanding of this stuff and knows how to be on TV too. We love that.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Let Spectrum News be your resource for balanced, in-depth political coverage. And click the subscribe button here. You can also download our app and watch us on TV to learn more about the candidates, where they stand on the issues, and more. We'll see you then.